Life is amazing. Microscopic cells seem to make up life of all shapes and sizes, from ants to whales. They even seem to create these extremophiles which can live in the most extreme places, from volcanic craters to the deepest depths of the ocean. So why can't they appear on other planets? Where are the aliens? That's what we're talking about today. And no, before we begin, I'm not just talking about the green aliens from Mars. I'm talking about even any sort of bacteria that may be on the surface of the planet. So sit back and let's put your mind on the matter of aliens. So why is this a question? Well, let's do a little bit of maths, shall we? So far we've discovered about 5,000 planets, but let's go for an underestimate and say per star system there's about one planet. There's about 100 billion star systems in the Milky Way, so about 100 billion planets. And then there's about 1 trillion galaxies. So if we do the maths on that, that's about 100 sextillion planets in the observable universe. To say that only one planet out of that sextillion has life, that's ridiculous. If anyone here has done maths, 1 over 100 sextillion, that is pretty much 0. So for life to form here, surely by pure probability, there must be life elsewhere. Okay, so maybe it's just our methods that are flawed. Maybe we are just missing the aliens. Let's look at these methods. So, the search for extraterrestrial life is a global effort known as SETI, and they try to use various techniques which take advantage of the properties of physics that we anticipate alien civilizations may use to communicate. An example of this is the portable spectrum analyzers. By 1980, we had these installed on most radio telescopes. By the way, these are telescopes which look at the radio waves rather than basic visible waves. And these spectrum analyzers would search for narrowband pulses in the spectrum which share the same driftway, as these were kind of considered signs of intelligence. Another example is the Mega-Channel Extraterrestrial Array, also known as META. Introduced in 1985, this piece of technology allowed us to look through 8 million slices of radio frequency. That sounds like a lot, but compared to your smartphone, that's nothing. Other projects throughout the years followed the same concepts, but gradually improved the technology. Another project, introduced by SETI, looked towards publishing data so that anyone could access the data and interpret it. Some more futuristic developments now look towards other methods. For example, Breakthrough Starshot, which is a campaign to develop tiny probes which can explore exoplanet systems at about 20% the speed of light, which is pretty fast. Obviously, that technology is still incredibly futuristic, as we are nowhere near that at the moment. So the question we're looking at today, where are the aliens, is famously known as the Fermi Paradox. Assuming an alien civilization has the same technological and spacecraft advancements that we do at the moment, it shouldn't have taken them longer than the Milky Way's history in order to advance to a point we could be observing them, and yet we still haven't. So where are they? There are 3 possible solutions to this. Firstly, we could just be statistically in a very quiet area of the universe. By statistics, I could have an average where all of these civilizations are in this area of the universe and we're over here. So we may just be in an area where there's no other life, but on the other side of the observable universe, maybe there's trillions of civilizations. The second is the zoo hypothesis. This suggests that maybe there are aliens, but they're so advanced that they look down on us as just animals in an exhibit. So they don't interact with us, but they just watch us from afar. It's a sad, but very possible potential. The final of the 3 is the fact that aliens are the opposite. They are so primordial that they're just bacteria. They could just be sitting on Mars with us having no idea that they exist. Again, very real, but it kind of goes against the whole adventure of this. Is there another solution? Let's look at the Great Filter. So the Great Filter could provide another solution, which may even be the most likely. Consider life. It has to overcome so many different hurdles. Being in the correct habitable zone, developing the correct DNA and RNA, and even having the correct reproductive system in order to reproduce efficiently. To be able to overcome all these hurdles, it just means that life is impressive regardless of if it's only in one place or if it's everywhere. So, humanity may potentially just be the first species to get across this barrier, to get across this Great Filter. And we're just waiting for the aliens to come. That's why we haven't found them, because they're not there yet. They haven't reached and passed this Great Barrier. This is the more hopeful solution, as it supposes that maybe we're the most advanced civilization. The other one's a little bit more concerning. Suppose after many years we do find signs of a ultra-civilized group of aliens. That might mean that they've passed the filter, but we haven't. Does that then imply there's a great hurdle coming towards us? That's where the danger then approaches. So, the Great Filter allows us to explain the lack of aliens, or can explain why there are aliens that are so advanced if we do ever find them. I wrote a project on this when I was 14, and even now I'm still convinced that aliens exist, whether they are just bacteria. In fact, I think that humanity have crossed this Great Filter, and we're just waiting for the civilizations to come. But my fears are whether they will be friendly or not. Imagine two tribes. Their first instincts upon meeting each other are kill and take resources. Wouldn't that apply to alien races? So, as cool as it would be to have like a Star Trek Federation, I think it's more likely we'll end up having some level of intergalactic war. I hope you enjoyed exploring this with me, and hope that I've opened your eyes to the possibility of aliens. Don't always believe what's on the news. Do the research yourself. In the meantime, keep questioning, keep wondering, and keep putting your mind on the matter.